Hello folks, today we are taking a look at the newly released hit from Ubisoft, For Honor. It's a bit of a weird one to fit into a genre really, with a pretty solid story for a single player enthusiast and a great PvP mode with a nice background simulation. There's not really a game like it which we've played before. You play as one of three factions: the bold and fearless knights, the honourable samurai, or the fierce and hard-hitting Vikings. Within the story mode, the three factions have been pitched against each other after a cataclysm has ripped apart the earth and thrown the warriors against one another in a fight to survive. The battles that you have feature smaller AI opponents and either bot or human main characters, each of which has their own unique playstyles, weapons and customization. With a control system that is at the same time both fairly simple and nuanced, it's a game which can be fairly easy to get into, but mastering sleight of hand and the different attack timings and counters can really take time to master. For Honor is officially rated by Peggy at 18 and we'll run that down for you right here. Violence 10. There is a lot of blood and gore in For Honor, and as you'd expect from a game centred around brutal medieval combat. Expect guts, blood and beheadings aplenty as you move around the battleground. As a special note here though, you can turn off blood effects and dismemberment in the user interface area of the options menu. However, it's not too hard to turn that back on again. Online 9. The online mode is a big aspect of For Honor, and as usual that means interaction with other unmoderated players. This has been marked down as in-game chat functions are pretty well managed, and don't forget to go over voice comm settings in parental controls if you are worried. Fear 2. As ever, not a horror title, but getting chased around a battlefield and the 2-on-1 fights can get the blood pumping. Language, drugs, sex, gambling and discrimination have zero, having no part in For Honor. As a special note on discrimination, it's great to see different cultures represented equally. Especially nice to see that when we first created our hard-hitting knight characters, we started with the default setting as female. So with the Peggy rundown done, how does that leave us? Graphics 9. It's a well-crafted title for sure, and while not super real, the different armour styles and your own personalised symbols are well crafted in-game with some great little details. Story 10. For a game which features multiplayer quite heavily, there's a great story in the single player experience, and with the BGS and multiplayer there's even a story there too. Sound 8. The sound in-game is well crafted and the background music is modern and yet in keeping. The in-game sounds of battle are well realised and the clash of swords, axes and shields are worked well. Replayability 9. The main story is a good one, but as with most games these days, the multiplayer keeps things going a fair while longer. There's a great background simulation in For Honor which will see you choosing a faction to represent and fighting for them on the field of battle. As an important note, you can pledge to the knights for example, but still play with samurai characters. And with a dynamically changing battle map where you must attack and defend to keep your own chosen faction strong and in control, it will keep people plugged in for longer. Satisfaction 8. We are impressed with the controls and the well-crafted visuals of For Honor. The one-on-one fights can sometimes be a little less than honourable, but when you get a good matchup it's a great feeling to manage to string together the right attacks, dodges and counters to defeat your opponent, especially if it's another player you're up against. This would have scored higher today, possibly a 9 or a 10 if it wasn't for the blatant microtransaction dependence which For Honor shows. While there's a good amount of customization bits and pieces in-game already, the number of little add-ons you can buy, and are constantly offered, can be a little tiresome for those of us who remember when whole games came on one disc. That's all from us today. Catch up with us again soon, and don't forget to check out the new Pixel Bandits podcast on iTunes and at pixelbandits.org/pvp, with more giveaways and competitions coming soon.
Nate!